You know you want to be able to do this kick, right? I taught him that. So today we're going to show you how to do the SCISSOR split kick like Shang-Chi. Willow, Shang-Chi. Let's go down. First of all, you got to realize that this kick is all about the physical skill. If you're able to jump high and you're flexible enough to do the split SCISSOR, it's going to be way better and more good looking for Instagram than if you don't. So when you look at the mechanics of the kick, you really have to be able to do the side kick, the jump side kick, and the turning kick as well. It's usually 2 for 1, like pow, at the same time. Or you can do 1, 2, when you're getting ready for the triple kick, for example, like 1, 2, and 3. So if you really have it down, if you're on the floor, and if you really have it down like this, if you think about it, and if you do it quite extensively, you're gonna be able to realize what you have to do mid-air. So it's a little bit easier to understand, but harder to do because of the hardware. So make sure your jumping side kick and your turning kick are well developed, because only then will you be able to try this one. So now let's work on your physical skills. The first thing is the flexibility. You should be flexible. If you do the splits, better off, but you don't really need to, because sometimes it's an illusion. You know, if you see the kick from the front, if you do it something like this and you lean backwards and to the side mid-air, it's gonna look like you're doing the splits anyway. So you don't have to go all the way down in the splits. But what you should really focus on is loosening the hip of that first leg that comes, so the side kick, whether you do it to one side or the other. When I'm doing the side kick, I'm gonna loosen up my hip flexor, and I'm gonna show you a great exercise to do that. And the other leg, it's not gonna be the hip flexor, you're actually gonna tighten it up, but you're gonna extend this way, turning kick, which means you're gonna loosen up, or you're gonna have to be quite loose in the hamstrings. So for the loose hip, I would recommend a split squat, which is something like this. And I really like to do it using a slider or a towel, something that slides, because that way I'm gonna be forcing it and stretching it at the same time. So like this, it's like an exaggerated lunge. I go all the way down, and then I come back up. And I really feel this working. 1, try to extend as much as possible the back leg, and then come back up. If you really grab hold of something, you can even feel it a little better, because that way you won't be focusing on balance, but rather the loosening of the hip. And then from here, if you want, you can go down, up, down, up, down, up. So these two variants will really help loosening up the hip for you to throw it sideways while you're leaning to the other side. So you really have to be open here. Now, if you want to loosen up the hamstrings, here's a great exercise you can do with a rubber band. You can place it around you. This is the thick rubber band. Then you will put it on your foot, mid-foot. You're gonna lie down, go up with it. I already feel it loosening up. Oh, actually stretch it quite a bit. And then from here, I'm gonna go to the side as if I were kicking. And this leg will have to stay stretched, you know, extended, in order for me to feel the hip flexor as well. And the more I get it to the side, I can even grab it. Oh, the more I get it to the side, the more I will loosen up my hamstrings and make it perfect for the beautiful Instagrammable kick that we all want. Yeah, I don't want just Instagram booties, I want Instagram kicks. Nice. And another one, which is really a little bit more painful, is doing a sort of a Jefferson curl, where you have your both legs extended, but one in front of the other. The other one can bend a little bit. What I have to do is the same arm as the same leg. So the left one will go all the way down, try to touch the floor. Oh my God, and come back up like this. So I'm really extending and stretching my hamstrings and coming back up. Try to keep your torso straight and your butt going backwards, touch the floor and come back up. If you're flexible enough to do this, you won't have a tear in the hamstrings from doing the split SCISSOR Shang-Chi Willow kick. As for jumping skills, how to get to jump higher, I recommend you do a lot of weightlifting, at least 2 to 3 times a week, because a lot of martial artists don't do it with very little reps because you gotta be able to jump high. But one of the drills that I really enjoy for this type of kicking skill is the one-legged tuck jump. So if I'm here, this can be like mid-level or waist level, and the other one will jump up, so the left leg will jump up and try to reach as high as possible, tucking and coming back down. So something like this. 1 and 2. Why? Because when you're doing the takeoff, you're gonna do exactly that. This one lifts up, throws it, and then the other one comes up as high as possible. So if you even do it like this, step, or with the, or with the other leg, 1, 2. You're gonna really be able to attack the floor or the air for the best kick ever. Okay, next step, or a couple of steps, is gonna be the takeoff. I love to do the takeoff with 2 steps. So if I'm left foot forward, I'm gonna go 1, 2, and from here, jump up, side turn, side turn. So here, 1, 2, and don't forget to use your arms when you jump up, like wow, and then pow, okay? And there's another way for you to make the most out of the little space that you use for doing the 2 steps, because sometimes 2 steps is not enough. A lot of people go like, wait, criminals, wait for me! And this is no good. So what you should do is, if you want to get more momentum out of your only 2 steps, you can put your right foot forward, do a little jump up as if you were doing like getting emotion inside, like emotional content.
I said emotional content, not anger.
And then jump up from both feet, land on the left, right, left. So something like this. Once again, see, it's just a little bit of a rush going, like, see? And now that you have pretty much everything but the actual kick, we're gonna work on the progressions for the kick. So like I said before, a side kick is mandatory. Without the side kick, there's no scissor kick, okay? So remember, left foot forward, it's gonna be 1, 2, spring up, and from here, you're gonna do the side kick, not to the front, but to the actual side. So something like this. Second progression, same thing, but the other leg will start developing or doing a little bit of a prep for the turning kick. So really lift up and really tilt your body to the side as if you were gonna extend later on. But first, don't extend. Let me show you. And then the actual scissor kick. But I like, for the first ones, I like you to have a reference like Bob or some pads to work on with the side kick. But now, let's not think about the targets first. Let's think about actually throwing the movement in midair, like shadow boxing. And only then will we focus on the targets when you're good enough to do this kick, because the targets will raise up the bar. So here we go. So now that you're gonna work on this extensively, I would recommend that you don't do it more than twice a week because of the central nervous system. You'll get burned or overloaded trying to do a lot in a very short period of rest. But there's a great mindset tip for you to think of when you're mid-air, which is only think about the turning kick. Don't think about the side kick. The side kick will eventually happen. It's much more organic to get a side kick going, you know, than a turning kick. The turning kick is what you really have to focus on. Try to think that the turning kick should reach as high as the side kick and you'll be fine. Because this is what really matters, that turning kick all the way up. So don't do it with pads at first, but think that there's a target over there. So there's a target. So I'm gonna lean to the side, I'm gonna kick that target, that imaginary target. Do it quite often, but don't do it more than twice a week, and think about that turning kick, because that's kind of the trick, the mindset trick that I always think of when I'm doing this kick. And don't forget to lean to the side, otherwise it's gonna be just like a regular split kick, and you wanna work on that beauty as if you were falling down, but don't fall, don't fall. Like, share, subscribe, give me ideas, tell me how, if this was helpful in the comment section, but let me know ideas of more tutorials, more workouts that I can show you. And I'm thinking that maybe next I will do the tutorial on the triple kick. What do you think? Are you ready for that? Are you ready?